Hello, everybody. We are live. Samir is with us again. No, just kidding. Samir is with us.
You guys sick of
Uh,
me yet?
no, and you're dialing it from New York. I'm in California,
Yeah.
and we do this live session every Wednesday, 1 p.m. California time, 4 p.m. New York time. And Samir, why don't you do a quick intro for people who may not have watched you before? Like it's a no-brainer, but they should watch you.
Hey everyone, I'm Samir. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing in Silicon Valley for the last 20 plus years. But today I find myself in upstate New York. I was in the city a couple days ago or yesterday. Upstate New York, totally different ballgame. It's almost like a different country.
Yeah.
We were driving here late last night, and it was dark, so I couldn't see anything. I'm sure it was beautiful. But I had the radio on, and there were three stations on, and they were all playing the same song. Like that. That's how remote it was. Like where I am right now. I'm here for my son's baseball tournament, kind of in remote upstate New York.
Nice. Does your son play like what? Does he play like college level or what?
Oh, he's 12. Every year, or he's 13. There's a 12 to 13-year-old tournament every year
Hmm.
here that every kid who plays baseball aspires to play in. So
Oh,
that's what.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's right. And on that note, just for everybody to know, like Samir has a hard stop today, so we'll like kind of wrap up at least 15 minutes before our regular timing. But typically we do 1 hour. But today we're gonna do next 40 minutes. So just for people who might do super chat, so I want to make sure that if they do it, we answer their question before 40 minutes. Okay, cool. Samir, before we get, I know chaos is happening right now in immigration.
Yeah.
Any like a newspaper level headline items to discuss?
Yeah, I mean, aside from there being the strongest earthquake we've seen in, I don't know, 15 years and a Pacific-wide tsunami alert, it's like, what is happening to this world? Everything seems to be falling apart right now.
Yeah.
The earthquake and tsunami of immigration right now is this whole NTA issue. And, we've been talking about this for a while. I've been posting extensively on LinkedIn about it. I just saw my first NTA today that was not related to an H1B. It
Oh.
was for a dependent change of status. And because there was no filing in this person's case, they were able to file on time for the expiration. They issued an NTA right away. So now it looks like they're tracking expirations and I-94s. And if something is not filed or if somebody doesn't leave, it looks like that's triggering an NTA too. So
Wow.
the
Okay.
background, the high level to this is there was a memo issued in February. That was the
Hmm.
NTA memo, okay, saying we're going to put everybody into proceedings who's out of status. And we were like, yeah, duh, okay, fine. Like, that didn't seem like news to us. What we didn't know is that they were going to like interpret people who have H1Bs withdrawn as out of status, even though they're in the grace period, and that
Hmm.
they're going to use the technology to find people who are on dependent visas to work visas right away. It's unprecedented. So it is certainly chaotic right now, causing
Hmm.
a lot of upheaval in the community. People suddenly having to pick up things and leave. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, couple this with there's a lot of layoffs happening right now too.
Right.
There's Microsoft, I think, like getting a lot of people from Intel, other companies, and the timing could not be worse for
Yeah.
something like this to be happening.
Yeah. Have you like had the first run of like actually appearing in the court and like what's happening?
So one case we did appear virtually in Dallas court and got the case dismissed. They had an H1B transfer pending.
Okay.
So that was good. That was a huge victory. Second case, we're in the middle of it, and a lot of cases are just starting up. Mind you, once you file for a motion, it takes for a few weeks for this to unravel, and some hearings are pushed out to next year. So there's, it's
So
things
what
are.
happens if it is pushed out to next year? Do you then get the legitimate like authorized period of stay or no?
No, I mean, what you're able to do is you're able to ask for a decision based on the circumstances as they are right now through written motions back and forth for the most part.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you don't have to wait for the hearing to talk about that.
Hmm.
So that's essentially what we're doing. Is a lot of motion work right now.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And again, for everybody, if you are in that situation, Samir's and his team's link is in the description. You can make sure to let them know that you came from UDJ, and they'll take care of you. All right. We got first question. I'm mechanical engineering, currently on H1B. Can I do part-time masters in computer science and pivot my career path to computer science? Will there be visa issues?
Yeah, if you're on an H1B, you can do part-time schooling without having to get like any permission from the USCIS. If the degree ends up being like a master's in computer science, like obviously recognized as such, I mean, you can do CS honestly with an ME. I mean, I'll just say my brother, who's here with us in New York, he's a computer engineer, software engineer, and he has 2 ME degrees. So it's not out of the stretch of like, out of the realm of possibilities, right? Like for the ME degree to relate to software engineering. But yes, getting a computer science degree will certainly help in that pivot path. And then when you get a job in CS, you'll have an easier time on the H1B with the computer science degree.
Is it, I'll follow up on that, is it like individuals' responsibility to figure out like how the work is related to their education, or is it lawyers' responsibility?
It's the company's lawyer's responsibility. The one who files the H1B.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Urgent. My driver license has temporary return on it, but it also has a golden star. I have a flight tomorrow. Is this real ID compliant? Okay.
I can't get into real ID compliance. I'm sorry. Like I have to see the license. I believe the golden star means it is. It just has an earlier expiration, but
I would just carry passport next.
carry your passport. Now, what do you have to lose? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Harsh, I don't see your question. I see your super chat. Don't see your question. So let me know if you missed it. All right. Oh, there it is. Sorry. There you go. I'm on F1 visa in PhD. If I file I-140, does it affect if F1 renewal on OPT?
Okay. A loaded question. If it was like 8 months ago, let's say last year, okay, I'd say they issued a policy on this. They're like, you are okay if you are an F1 and you do an I-140 and you're in the US. We're not going to hold that against you. At least DHS here in the US wouldn't. Okay. There's always going to be an issue at the consulate, which is Department of State, different department. They care more. And they're always going to be worried about your immigrant intent if you need to get a visa stamp, right? If you don't, then it's not an issue, right? We don't know how it's going to be this year. Still, all signs are it should be okay to be in the U.S. on an F1 with an I-140, but stay tuned. Things are changing very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's 3 more years.
3 more years. I mean, literally, the way we've been advising on grace periods for 7 years now has changed in the last half an hour.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's wild. Okay. For EB1, what would consider high salary? More than 160 or more than 200,000 for a semiconductor?
Yeah, it's subjective. This is a good question. Semiconductor EE is generally lower than CS, software engineering, or data science, or all that stuff. So you should be pretty good if you're over 200, I think, in the Bay Area. But once again, it's subjective. Have to make the argument, right?
Okay.
There's no like line. There's no like number that the government recognizes. You just got to make the argument. I'd feel better about 200.
Yeah. Okay. Can a letter from state senator, congressman help expedite the national interest waiver I-140 processing time reduction?
Well, the best way to expedite it is to file premium processing. You got to pay for it. Unless you have a really compelling reason, I doubt that anything is going to expedite it in anything other than a life or death situation. So,
yeah. All right, big one. Move you. My H1B was recently picked through consular processing with a consultant, and I'm currently in process of filing. At the same time, I received W-2 job offer from a different company that's related to my field of study. I'm on initial OPT right now, not STEM yet. Can I legally work this W-2 job while waiting for my H1B processing? Would it affect my H1B in any way?
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to work for whomever you want to on the OPT. So I guess my question is, I don't understand the H1B stuff, because if you just got recently picked, the deadline to file an H1B was June 30th. So I don't understand how you can be in the process of filing unless I'm missing something here. The second point is, if you don't work for the consultant and you're working for another company, why would they want to do an H1B for you? So there's lots of different things happening here. Talk to your school about any updates you have to make, though, regarding the SCPP portal. They are able to help you. Always ask your school about those things. But in theory, yes, you should be able to work for that company.
Okay. Right. See, they call you sir, so respectful.
I think it should be the other way. It should be Yudi, Sir Yudi, and that idiot Samir.
No. I'm currently on F1 initial.
Well, I'm sorry. It's because of why? It's the gray hair, man. Okay, so it's a sign of my old age.
They make you look wise. They make you look.
If only they knew. Yes.
Yeah. I'm currently on F1 initial OPT and have been employed for the past 3 months. I need to travel to India for an important personal matter, and my employer has approved a 10-day leave. Given the uncertainties surrounding immigration, would it be advisable to travel?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried, assuming you got your I-20 annotated for travel, and you just bring, pay stubs with you showing that you've been in status for the past 3 months. I wouldn't be too worried about it. You have a visa stamp in your passport, a valid visa stamp,
and nothing crazy in the past.
I think it should be okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on F1 visa and I'm planning to travel to India during winter break. I have my sister's wedding scheduled on Jan 23rd, and my class final semester for Swing 2026 starts on January 20th. I'm planning to return on January 26th. Will there be problem during immigration because of delayed entry?
This is one we check with your school. This is the only reason they would give you a problem is if they feel like you're not enrolled in classes and attending classes. And what does that mean? That every school has their own definition of what that means. So check with them. It doesn't seem like to be that big of a deal, but certainly check with your school to make sure.
Yeah. Okay. Right. The person has a follow-up. My H1B extension is recently filed. Can I change job now? If my H1B expired and I work on 240-day rule, can I change job during that period?
You can't really do an H1B transfer out of the pending extension phase. Okay. You may have to consular process your H1B in that case. Okay. And if you change jobs, keep in mind what's going to happen. What's company A going to do? What have we been talking about? They're going to withdraw the H1B.
And automatically trigger.
This is an incredible chill on employee portability. People are going to be scared to leave their job now because they don't want their company to withdraw the H1B and send them into court.
But it doesn't, when the typical transfer happen, doesn't people leave once the transfer is approved?
They usually do. But in this case, what I'm saying is the transfer may not be approved for an extension of status because they're in their extension period already, right? Yeah. They're in a period of authorized stay, not status, right? So they may have to leave the U.S. and come back in. So there are things you could do. I'm not going to get into the specifics. If you want to talk to us, we can help you. But it probably involves traveling out of the U.S. as soon as you give notice to your company. So that if there's an NTA issue, it doesn't affect you as much.
Yeah. Okay. Nikhil, I see it, but I don't see your question. So if you can type your question again, that will be great. Okay. My current role is fully remote, and my H1B was recently approved. If I move to new address within the same MSA, are there any steps I need to take to remain compliant with H1B?
You as an employee, you always have to update your address in the AR11 form. The H1B regulations is up to the employer. The employer is supposed to do that. So just tell them, notify your employer's attorney, let them make the decision. They're the ones that are in charge of LCA and H1B compliance, which mainly affects the employer, not you.
But he moved, so he still needs to fill the AR11 form.
Yeah. So your, can I say his name?
Yeah.
The Software responsibility is to always notify USCIS about where you're living. That's irrespective of H1B. That's any immigrant, including a green card holder. Okay? The company responsibility is to make sure the H1B and LCA are in compliance when you move. So that's their job. So you have to tell them you moved and ask them what are they going to do about it, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. So someone is just commenting that they arrived late and it was no issues. They
I thought
carried
they were
a
calling me Archana. Okay.
No, the Archana who asked if she could
No.
relate. Yeah. All right. I am currently on OPT and have been offered a job at Hyderabad-based company that is registered in US. Samir, Hyderabad is in India.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was in Sweden. Yeah.
Right. But I still remember your ABCD joke. So, but only CEO and CTO work from US. They are willing to hire me in US, but place me on an Indian payroll. Is this arrangement legal while on OPT? And are there any possible workarounds to make it compliant with OPT regulations?
I think it actually is compliant because you don't even need to be paid, honestly, to be on OPT, right? It's a little weird that they want to do that. They probably just want to pay you. I don't know why they
Yes.
want to do that. Yeah, but that's a little shady. But without knowing more, I don't think there's an issue here. Assuming this is real work, okay, just make sure this is a real job, that they're not going to do other shady things to you, and that you're legitimately working for this company. Then it should be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is the case for F1 acceptance same for undergrads as it is for those going for MS PhD? I'm not sure. I understand.
Where are we talking about? At the consulate?
I'm assuming. Aro, if you can.
Yeah, it's less about what degree program you're going into and more about whether you can prove that you're going to return to your home country once you finish. So if assuming all your documents and ducks are in a row, it shouldn't matter either way.
Oh, yes, consulate. Yeah. Could we see a policy change where visa expiration is taken to be out of status, forcing millions of H1B engineers to leave the country to get a new STEM, potentially standing them in their home, stranding them?
Wow, that's a huge, that's a kind of myopic, dystopian hypothetical here. When you say visa expiration, Prush, are you talking about your visa stamp expiration? I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing, because that'll never be taken to be out of status. The visa stamp is only about entering the U.S. That's all it's for. Okay. If your H1B, your I-94 expires, then yes, you're out of status. So I'm not sure I understand the question. If you're talking about visa stamping, then no, we will never see that. No.
Okay. I am currently on F1 visa and graduated on May 2020.
Congrats.
May 21, 2025. I applied for OPT in early May and listed July 2nd as my requested start date. However, due to USCIS processing delays, my EAD is still pending. Will USCIS automatically adjust my start date once approved, or will it remain July 2nd? Is there any limit to how far they push it?
It's a good question. They generally, the start date is generally the date of the approval of the card. So you should be okay. You can premium process these things, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry. So, Samir, you're saying even though July 2nd has been passed, that won't be the start date. When they approve the EAD card, that will be the start date.
That's usually the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is what we've seen in the community as well. Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to India in November to update my visa. I graduated May 2024 with my undergrad and worked on OPT till December, started my master's in January. I haven't been back since 2023. So is that risky? I'm assuming that's the question.
I mean, there's nothing about what you're trying to do By the way, I love that picture. Anyway, that's a great movie. Beyond the Spider-Verse. There's nothing that you're doing that's out of the ordinary here, right? So I don't know about risk factors any more than any F1, visa applicant is going to have. The same ideas apply. You have to show you have ties to your home country, to India, if that's your home country, and that you plan to return once you finish. But aside from that, if there's no other information, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't give it to you.
Yeah. And Dropbox probably not eligible since it's after September.
They're getting rid of Dropbox. Did
Yeah.
you see that? Yeah. So.
And so I think the biggest thing is getting a visa appointment.
Just the logistics, of getting the visa appointment, the possible 221G with the social media stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like ultimately it can get approved, but it's going to take you how long is that going to take you?
Yeah. And how long can you stay out without your master's? Yeah.
So you don't need a visa to be here. I know people want to update a visa in case they have to travel. You only need a visa to travel and re-enter.
Yeah. Looks like he just wants to travel. So that's probably why. But okay. Why are many companies currently hesitant to sponsor F1 OPT students or file H1B visa when the situation is expected to improve or when is the situation expected to improve or return to normal?
Wow. I mean, that's it's more of an economics question than an immigration question. Actually, we see these things happen when the job market turns sour, unfortunately, and we're in a tough market for employees, right? So I mean, I can talk for hours about this without any qualifications in economics, but I'm seeing lots of layoffs, right? So why are they going to hire students when they're having a lot of layoffs, right? I'm seeing AI take full force and doing entry-level jobs now. So why would they need to hire students when they can have AI do the entry-level stuff and have middle managers, senior managers manage that process, right? So I think what we're seeing is a fundamental shift in the job market, above and beyond just somebody being on OPT. Then there's some companies just don't like hiring OPT and H1B because they're scared of the process. The companies that I work with have no problem with it. This is part of their recruiting, strategy, and they're very used to it and they rely on it. So it really just depends on the company and industry, but there are larger kind of macro kind of forces at work here too.
Yeah. Okay. I recently got CAP exempt sponsored by my organization, got H1B back in March. I want to make a trip to my country, India. Rumor is there is more Dropbox. Will I need in-person appointment?
Not a rumor, but it's true.
It is true. Post September 2nd, unless you have it before September 2nd. Yeah. Okay. Once approved, can I transfer H1B before October 1st?
No, I mean you can't transfer something you don't have. You don't have an H1B until October 1st.
Okay.
Right? You have a future H1B. You don't have it right now, right? It's not active until October 1st. You can't transfer it, right? You can't transfer something you don't have. Sometimes there's a way to apply for a change of status based on that approval before October 1st, but I don't think you have enough time now. August, September, it's going to be really, really close, and most companies are not going to want to do it because it doesn't always get approved. So you're probably best served waiting until October 15th, get one cycle of payroll under your belt, and then do the transfer.
Okay. All right. I have 757 days left on my H1B.
That's very specific.
Yeah, a new company is ready
How many hours in the minutes?
A new company is ready to file my I-140, but switching means restarting the perm process. I'm unsure if this is the right move. Would appreciate guidance.
Yeah. By the way, I tease you on it, but I really appreciate that because when I ask people how much time they have left, they're like, and we have to calculate it. You know how much I hate math. So I appreciate you knowing exactly how much time. But the problem I have now is converting that into years. What is that number? About two-ish, maybe a little less than 2 years. A little more than
2 years.
A little more than 2 years. Yeah. Okay. So a new company's ready to file the I-140, but switching means restarting the perm. Okay. Are you from India? Is my question. If you're born in India, it doesn't matter. If your priority date is anything recent right now, that's not going to be current for 100 years. Okay. So what does it matter if the next company has a perm approved? It's not you're not going to be current and be ready to apply for a green card. So what you should be doing is building your profile for an EB1. You already have an I-140 priority date, so now just it doesn't matter. Like you don't need a perm from a new company. What you need is an EB1, and that's what you should be focusing your time on.
Yeah, I like that. Nice. Okay, can I stay on unpaid non-working leave for 2 months after my F1 program starts? And will it be problem later if my resignation letter shows my last working day as 2 months after the program start? Interesting. Okay.
So an unpaid non-working leave. Are you talking about OPT for 2 months after your OPT starts? Because you're not working while you're a student. So
Hasita, I'm waiting for her to respond.
yeah, I'm not sure I understand this question.
Okay, we'll get back.
My question to people though, and I want to be like sensitive to what's happening like in people's personal lives, but this is the worst time to get like kind of casual about unpaid leaves and taking time off and that kind of stuff. Literally, the government's coming after you. Like, I unless you absolutely physically cannot work, then I would not mess around with leaves at this point. Like that just unnecessarily complicates matters, right? They're coming after everybody. Why complicate it with things like this unless there's like you can't physically avoid it, right? I understand. I want to be sensitive to medical issues, but I worry about people who are play this a little casual.
I love that call out. Okay. Can a student on F1 visa resell ticket brought on Ticketmaster or ACX, also AXS? Let's say original ticket price was $33, but including tax, it goes to $50. Would selling it back for $50 be a problem?
Oh my gosh. Well, now it is. Now that you've announced to the public that you want to do it. I'm kidding. I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah. But I, Shoham, I appreciate you thinking at such granular level. Working for my foreign employer.
Okay, which is even worse. Now you want to work without authorization for your foreign employer. I stop working for without authorization, number one, and make sure you learn the rules that you're obliged to follow on the student visa and follow them. I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, this is not the time to be messing around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently on CPT, received RFE for H1B, was under reduced course load in one of the semesters, but I did not drop any courses, but did miss one class due to medical condition. Will this create any problem for H1B?
I don't know. I mean, this is something you have to talk to a lawyer about the RFE. I have no idea what the RFE is asking for. So there's a lot more in here. I can't answer this question. It may be a problem. I mean, especially if that shows up on your SEVIS record, or if it doesn't. If I just don't know what the RFE is asking for. That if they're even asking for anything that has to do with your question, right? So
yeah. Okay, can waiting for visa stamp back in home country, say 3-4 months, now that no Dropbox, be taken against you at the port of entry?
I shouldn't think so. Who knows nowadays? But no, I don't see why it should. Yeah.
Okay, Hasita keeps asking follow-up. I meant it is my current Indian company. I won't be working, just staying on unpaid leave for 2 months post master's start because I'll get my bonus later.
I would say get a consultation. I don't really understand, and we need to have a better understanding of all the facts.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. What about H1B 2026 cap? I don't think.
What about it? This is fiscal year 2020. We're in it. I mean, it starts on October. It's done, and there's no second lottery.
Yeah,
it's over. Yeah.
Unless he's asking about the lottery changes, but that's gonna apply to
really
next.
Yeah.
Okay. My H1B extension was filed this week. My current H1B expires on September 30. Does my timeline look good, or should I pay for premium?
I mean, you filed it on time, so you can always work past the expiration. But if you want to have it approved before the expiration, then you probably should pay for premium, because I don't think it's going to get approved before. Remember, you're allowed to work for 240 days after, or until the extension's approved, whichever comes first. But it's not going to be approved before September 30th, in my opinion. I'm seeing processing times are like 6 to 8 months right now.
Yeah. Okay. I want to schedule an appointment for H1B using my current I-797, and I'm applying extension next month. We'll get new I-797, and then I'll update the new DS-160 if I get a slot now.
I believe the consulates are requesting the DS-160s to be, like, if you want a new DS-160, then you have to get a new appointment. Could be wrong on this, but check that out. I thought I saw that policy update come through. So I think they're getting stricter with DS1. Like, you can't just amend DS-160s at an interview. Like, you have to have a new one for each appointment. So I might wait until you actually get that new I-797 to do the DS-160.
Okay. I'm an F1 undergrad student, and I had completely forgotten to update my address with Service. I will be moving to a new address for my junior year and have now updated it. Will this cause any future issue?
No, I think you're okay that you did it now.
Yeah. Okay. Is it safe to travel home on vacations like summer and winter break? Well, with all the strict immigration restrictions.
What world do we live in? Can I go home for summer break? No. How dare you? I mean, whether it's safe for you to travel depends on your specific facts in your case. And so generally speaking, it's assuming that you meet all the requirements. I don't see anything different for people, but you should always get personal advice based on your personal situation, your personal documentation.
Okay. Would there be any changes to the Dropbox criteria, or would it stop completely? People who had booked for Dropbox until September, are they good to proceed for Dropbox?
It is September 2nd, right? I have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, 2nd. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to be stopped for after September 1st. It's going to be stopped completely.
But he's asking if he has booked it before that, then everything
everything should proceed, as planned. We hope.
Yeah. Okay. Can I work for EB2 employer employed through H1B and EB3 perm applied and currently with EAD together? Because the moment I'll start working with EB3, I'll lose my H1B status.
This is a gray area. Because up until now, I've given the advice that if you have an EAD, you can moonlight on it, right? Because EAD is an open market work permit, right? So, and in theory, you can work on your EAD for both companies. You don't have to be on an H1B for the EB2 company. But that being said, I don't feel good about that advice anymore with this administration. It's a gray area, and this administration is always going to interpret it in the way least beneficial to you. So they will say you're violating your status because your H1B status, and then they're not going to consider your pending AOS to be a status, and so they could, who knows what they'll do to you. So I would be careful about doing that. You can get a concurrent H1B for the EB3 company.
Yeah. And this is the kind of stuff I feel like they should definitely do a consultation with you or your team. So
yeah.
Okay, I appreciate all the info, Samir. Oh, and thank you.
Yeah.
I'm born in UAE. What is the perm and GIN card stuff? And I'm currently on H1B and don't know more.
Okay. Do we have another hour and a half to talk about this? Akash, GPT it. Drop your question in the chat GPT, ask the question, you'll get a very good answer. Please explain the perm and green card process for me. I'm on an H1B, okay? And then come back to us, and then you'll have a better understanding.
But I think the biggest thing is he's not born in India, so
you're basically hit the lottery. essentially, because that would be the way for you to get a green card. Perm is a labor market test. The way 95% of employees get green cards is through perm. Okay, company has to show they can't find any qualified U.S. workers, but we don't have enough time to talk about the whole process, and plus we'll bore everyone to sleep. So drop the question in GPT. You'll get a very nice and fairly accurate response.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any risk traveling outside the country on H1B or OPT for more than 60 days? Says it's unavoidable.
It shouldn't be I mean, historically, there hasn't been a risk to do so. The OPT part, check with your school. That I'm not so sure of. I don't know if that's going to count towards unemployment if you're not working. Certain factors have to be, dealt with there. So check with your school. But on the H1B, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. I'm on H1B, wife on H4 with a valid visa stamp till September 2027. I am planning to change employer. Do we need to get a new visa stamp if we travel to India in December 2025?
No, H1B stamps are interchangeable among employers so long as you're unexpired.
Yeah.
And H4s, yeah.
All right. My F1 visa is going to end on September 2026. I started my F1 OPT on January 2025. Can I be able to apply for 24-month STEM extension? My F1 visa term is 2022.
Okay, I need to put this into a spreadsheet here. The F1 visa is going to end on September 26.
I think he meant like F1 visa stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The OPT started. The important point is the OPT started on January 2025. So, assuming you have a STEM degree, you're in a STEM field. Forget about your F1 visa term. Those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
I understand why it's confusing. The F1 visa is only about you entering the U.S. after travel, right?
Yeah.
Your ability to stay here and work here is governed by your I-20 and your EAD, your OPT card, right? So if you start your OPT on January 2025, you need to apply for your STEM OPT extension before 1 year passes, right? Before its expiration. Ideally, a few months before. Has nothing to do with your F1 visa term. Okay. If you want to travel, you always need to have an F1 visa stamp approved.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just two separate things.
I'm on H1B cap exempt visa in a research field. Stemmed my visa last year and valid till 2027. Is it safe to travel? I'm planning to switch job. Is it safe to do that with current situation?
The current situation. It's a very broad situation we're talking about. But I understand what you're asking. So you got the H1B cap exempt approved. That's amazing. Your visa stamp's approved through 2027. If you're switching jobs, I think it's fine. I mean, make sure you talk to your employers or new employers council about the timing of the travel while this switching jobs is happening, right? Talk to them about when you can, when you shouldn't travel. But as a general matter, travel is okay for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, quick reminder, Samir has to leave in 4 minutes, so don't do super chat if we might not be able to get to it. Okay, if someone is going to be laid off on a future date, September 2025, employed H1B until then, what can they do to avoid NTA? Does filing change of status to H4 now help?
The unfortunate thing is there's probably nothing you can do to avoid an NTA. Okay, because the idea being okay, if I do this step, then the government will know that I'm not out of status. But the government is not necessarily checking your status when they're issuing the NTA. Do you understand? So avoiding the NTA is not necessarily the goal. The goal is to make sure you're in a status when the NTA is issued, if the NTA is issued. Okay? So in this case, if you want to apply to change to H4, how long is that going to take? At least 6 months. So you'll be in a pending stay, but not a status for 6 months. That's dangerous. So the best thing you can do is on September 25th, leave the U.S., come back in with a H4 visa stamp. I mean, it's totally inconvenient. Yeah, just go to India. What's the big deal, right? I know it's a big deal, but compared to going to immigration court, it's not as big of a deal, right? That's the only way that you can control your status, because if you leave, come back into the H4 stamp, you're automatically in H4 status. and then if they issue an NTA, then we can get the case dismissed.
Yeah. Okay. Booking H1B slot with current I-797, applying for extension in premium will get new I-77. Can I update new DS-160?
Same question. Yeah, I'm not 100% on this, but I think that the DS-160s have to be updated with the right information. So you got to do and they have to be linked to the appointment. So if you're going to do a new DS-160, you got to do a new appointment. I'm not 100% on that, so please do your research on that one.
Yeah.
Or request a consultation.
Yeah. Vishesh, I know you're asking when the slots will open up for rejected F1 visa. We don't know. I don't think Samir will be able to answer that. Unless, Samir, you have a magic ball and you can tell us.
I left it at home.
Right. I have H1B visa approved, which is picked this year. I got laid off, and August 22nd is my last day. Should I transfer to new employer before October 1st? Is there a way to not lose it? Should I go to day one CPT?
I'm sorry that happened. So if you got laid off, August 22nd is your last day. The best case for you is you have a new job lined up on an H1B transfer, ideally before the end of the grace period, right? Day one CPT, like everyone who's getting laid off now has to understand, like, what will it look like to an immigration judge? That's a question you have to ask, right? The best thing to have if you are going to immigration court, okay, is an H1B transfer approved. Okay, anything less than that, it's dicey. So in your case, this is not something I'm going to give you direct advice on, because you should get a consultation on this. But that general point holds. Like, this is a new reality. Okay, we can't just take the grace period for advantage, day one CPT for advantage. These things are no longer going to become part of your kind of Rolodex of options anymore. So.
Yeah. All right. One last question before Samir, you go.
Right.
I'm on F1 visa with OPT pending, no EAD yet, and recently hit by a car. I'm suffering multiple injuries. I'm unable to do active work due to injuries. How can I maintain my status during recovery? And am I eligible for U visa as a victim?
Ouch. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. You're on OPT pending, no ED yet, so you're not supposed to be working right now. So you're maintaining your status because you have a pending EAD. Please check with your school, okay? They could do things to help kind of keep your status in play in ways that, are outside the control of any random immigration lawyer. Like, we generally don't know these things, but schools have a way to do it. U visas are for victims or witnesses of crimes. Okay, so U visas are not the easiest thing to do right now, but I can't comment on that. It's not my area of expertise either. So if you need advice, I would check with the U visa specialists on that. Once again, I'm so sorry this happened to you, and I hope you heal quickly.
Yeah. All right, Samir has to go. Oh my gosh. And of course, they had to send like a super chat. Right? But will potential new rule affect me? I'm at level 1 and get 21%.
It's way too early. I mean, if you've already been picking the lottery, this rule is about kind of a new how do you get an H1B for the first time, right? So if you already have an H1B, then it should not apply to you. We don't know for sure until the rule is final. So it's a little too early to answer this question for you. But I would generally see level 1 H1Bs are going to get higher level of scrutiny, regardless of whether or not they're extensions. Okay, they tend to get more RFEs, and they did so in the last Trump administration, and will likely do so again in this one.
Yeah. Right, Samir, enjoy the baseball game, and thank you, everybody. I know we could not there was like more than 300 people. We will meet next week, Wednesday, same time, 1 p.m. California and 4 p.m. Eastern time. And Samir will be there as well. So Samir, enjoy the game, and we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.